Alright guys, today we just got some goodies in the mail for the BMW, the 36. We got some coilovers, courtesy of the Racing Parts Warehouse. They're based out of New Jersey. And shout out to major props to you guys. But let's get this unboxing video started so you see what we get. Let's do it. Okay, good packaging here. So nice and sturdy. Wrap it so it doesn't get, I don't know, water damage or something. Pretty heavy too. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, got a lot of foam here for packaging, just so the parts don't get all scratched up, ding and dented up during packaging. That's a huge plus. Let's throw all the stuff over there. Alright, let's pull out a front strut. It looks pretty good quality. Alright, this is a front strut. This is the, what side? This would be a driver's side. Looks pretty good, you know. Actually, one way to tell that you got a really good coilover on the one pieces is if you see the bottom end is threaded. So you could actually, these are serviceable. So if, let's say, the shock ever blows out, you can just contact the seller and just buy just the strut, the shock assembly itself, and screw it in without having to buy the whole thing. Well, that's a huge plus. The threads, the machining work is all good. Yeah, the welds and stuff look pretty good. You know, I would have preferably worked on the welding a little bit here. Not a huge downfall, but down the road, being especially we're in the Northeast, the salt and stuff will eat at these welds and break them. So FYI, let's try to tack it up a little bit. Don't go too crazy because you don't want to damage the actual shock or strut itself. The springs look pretty heavy duty. They look pretty good. No markings as far as like a particular name brand. But as you can see on top here, we got camber and caster plates for the alignment, so you could dial it in, or if you want some crazy camber for a car meet or a car show, you could dial it in, no problem. Or if you just want a mint alignment, you can. And it's an all-in-one assembly. You just put it in and out. And if you look here at the rod for the strut itself, it's pretty beefy compared to factory replacement ones. So, and it's yeah, look pretty good. So let's move on our way to a rear. Let's see here. Oh, and they come with the spanner wrenches. Max speeding rods. These are pretty good. I've gotten a lot of low like cheap ones, and they don't come with this the rubber handle, so that makes it a lot easier to install and to make adjustments on the fly. So huge plus, good quality packaging. All right here. Now the rears on here are a shock with a spring, which is a huge plus because on the older BMWs, or just BMWs in general, that use this the wishbone design, which consists of the spring and a separate shock. The ends of them, over time, they always tend to snap, so huge plus coming with springs. Take this thing out. Now, the first thing, if you know anything about 90s BMWs, you'd know that the shock mounts are notorious for blowing out the rubber bushings. This is a pillow top design, so, and it's a billet. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is billet aluminum, so it's a lot stronger than the factory one. So another huge plus, especially for the price. And again, same deal. you gotta you can unthread them so you service just the shock in case anything goes bad, or you could just do it so if you ever have to change a bushing, whatever, then you're good. But for the most part, I mean, the bushings look pretty good. They're pretty stiff. They're not too soft, so I'm not too worried about the bushings or anything becoming a problem down the road. But let's see here. This right here is the adjuster for the rear spring, because for those of you who don't know, ride height is controlled by the spring. So this would go right on top, and then you stick this on the bottom end. And here you have your adjustments. So let's say I want this thing dumped. I'm gonna all the way smack to the ground. I'm gonna adjust this thing all the way down till it bottoms out. Give it a little nice snug. We're not installing it now, so I'm not gonna snug it up, just for showing purposes. And you just stick it here on the bottom. And when it's in the car, if you want to jack it up for, let's say, oh, I'm sorry, that's backwards. You want to jack this son of a bitch up, you just adjust, jack up the car a little bit just to take the weight off the spring. Crack use the 2 spanners and just crack them loose and just twist it until it goes up a certain amount, whatever you like, and just adjust it from there. Me personally, I like to count the teeth and just go from there. If you got an even amount of teeth, you should be fine. If anything, use a tape measure or whatever so you could dial your ride height correctly, because you don't want the car to be lopsided or anything. But yeah, I mean, for the price, well, this was what, less than $250, and I'll tell you, for $250 from online, this is a sweet deal, especially for a BMW, being that most of their parts are ridiculously overpriced. And if you do get cheap ones, they're gonna blow out. But these, we haven't installed them yet, but these, I'm pretty confident with the hardware and stuff. The hardware looks pretty good. It's not no cheap like Home Depot hardware or anything. The hardware looks pretty good. No markings as far as of grade, but it's pretty cool. And another thing is they graved their strut mounts in with their brand name. Like I said, huge shout out to you guys. And there will be a link in the description to their store and on their eBay, on their store on eBay also. So if you're ever interested in looking at parts, hit those guys up. We will be installing these parts on our 93 BMW 325i 5-speed rear-wheel drive, of course. And we'll update you guys in the process with that, and we'll see how the form and function of that is. But we'll save that for another video. So once again, the Racing Parts Warehouse based out of New Jersey. Huge props to you guys. Great product here. I'm really confident. I'm happy that we made this purchase. And for all you viewers out there, Parts Racing Warehouse. So we got the first one in. It was kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie, but it's in there. The main real issue we had was just, I mean, it wasn't even really a big issue. It was just, if you look here on the inside, on the coilover, where the thicker portion of the bolt goes in between here. It's we had to grind down a little bit on the inner portion of the strut or the coilover, just to get it to fit snug. To be honest, we probably could have hit it with a hammer to fit really snug in there, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that because I didn't want to put stress on this bracket here, have it crack or anything, and then having to weld it and God forbid mess up the cartridge in here. But other than that, it was pretty, it bolted on pretty fine. Other than that, like I said, not a huge issue. It looks really good though. Like that. Nice. Very nice. Alright, well, we'll come back with some more updates, guys.